Hey there, friends. I want to do a follow-up video on a video that I put out last week on a gentleman in Memphis, Tennessee that had his firearms, 2 of them and an upper, confiscated from him from the ATF on what would appear to be a sting operation for another person. And they actually verbally told him, and we actually have video proof of that in some videos that I just posted of the raw video of his conversation with the ATF, that he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Their words, not mine. And a lot has transpired since then. I've continued to talk to the gentleman whose firearms were confiscated, Carlo Marcello, the Navy veteran. You'll remember that I reported that he was handcuffed, may have injured his hand. He is an artist. And you can go back and look at the other videos that I have of that. I'll put those videos in the description down below. But to follow up and give it a little bit more clarification, I've had some other people reach out to me and give me some facts regarding this specific case and these people. Now, I can't obviously disclose who those people are. However, they did provide me actual information that I can share with you. So you can see that what I'm talking about is legitimate, at least in terms of this story. Now, I will say this. I did reach out to the ATF concerning this story, and of course, I've gotten no return phone call from them, as I expected I wouldn't. And if I got a return call from them, I would expect them to pretty much say that this is an ongoing investigation, as they always say, and we can't speak to you on this. So I look at that more as, hey, at least I tried to you guys to show that I'm trying to give the fair sides of this story. But again, I don't anticipate any kind of real feedback from the ATF regarding this. So I wanted to point out a few things. I think a lot of people were kind of perplexed that how did Carlo get caught up in all of this if he was totally innocent? And again, I'm not implying that anybody's innocent or guilty in any of this. I don't know. I'm just providing you the pieces of the puzzle that I come across. I also, when I uploaded Carlo's video, the GoPro video of him speaking to the ATF agents, it was cut up into several segments. Now, I originally noticed that from the get-go. I was like, this is kind of weird. You know, it's not an ongoing video that goes all the way through. Now, I recognize that when GoPro, you record videos from GoPro, it breaks them up into segments. However, you can lay those segments in chronological order and it will simply piece it all together and run it as one contiguous video. But that's not what happened. So clearly the video was edited in some form or another, and I don't know why. And I still don't know why. I did get a piece of a 4-minute piece of that video, raw and unedited, and I will upload that separately from this video so you guys can see more of the conversation that transpired instead of just sound bites of what the ATF agent said. Again, I'm trying to be fair to all parties here. I'm not trying to relieve the ATF of any responsibility or wrongdoing, just trying to give you guys all of the pieces of this puzzle. So, as it would seem, Carlo may have, the guy that had his firearms incorrectly confiscated, may have been on the ATF's radar after all. And the reason why I say that is because the ATF frowns on people selling numerous firearms who do not have an FFL, therefore not requiring a 4473 or a background check. Is it illegal to do that? Carlo has sold quite a few guns privately. Carlo does not have an FFL. I questioned Carlo on that. I asked him, had he sold private guns, and if so, how many private guns he had sold, and even went so far as to ask him where he had sold those private guns from. Again, he had purchased these firearms, and we're not talking about cheap firearms. We're talking about, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 firearms here that he had purchased and sold. Now, why did he do that? I don't know. I've not asked that yet, and that's not my business, to be quite honest with you, because private sale of firearms is perfectly legal, so I don't care why he sold those. But nevertheless, I'm trying to piece together why the ATF might have figured he might be one of the people that they might be looking for. Carlo did share with me openly, and he was not trying to be evasive in any kind of way, shared with me that he did sell firearms, and he even told me where he sold these firearms. One of the places he pointed me to was TaxSwap. He also gave me his username on TaxSwap so that I could do searches by what he was selling. So I was able to run across several items that he sold, including in the archive segments, firearms that he had sold over time. Again, high-priced firearms. You'll notice the ones that do not have prices, or the items in general that don't have prices next to them, those are archived items. Those are items that have already been sold, that they're not for sale anymore. It's just showing that these items were actually listed on TaxSwap at some point. The ones that do have price tags next to them are active items that are for sale. So as you can see, Carlos still has a couple of very nice firearms on tax swap for sale. Now, he also sells on Arms List and Gunbroker. So he's got 3 different locations that he sells his firearms online. Now, the issue that the ATF most likely sees, and I'm making assumptions here, and I apologize for that if that hurts somebody's feelings, but I think these are realistic assumptions, is that the ATF is seeing someone purchasing very expensive firearms and turning right around and selling these nice firearms without an FFL and without doing a background check. Again, I'm not saying anybody's right and I'm not saying anybody's wrong. I'm simply telling you what the ATF more than likely looked at. So they're looking at this as someone selling firearms without an FFL, doing this for business and not just simply liquidating their personal collection of any kind. So again, you know how the ATF views these types of transactions, especially numerous types of transactions like this. And Carlo actually asked me if I knew what too many might be. I don't have that answer. I simply don't have that answer, and I think he actually mentioned that someone had told him that 40 might have been that magic number. My point in sharing all of this is that there's always more to the story than what you actually collect. I am not a journalist. I am not a news person. I am a guy that collects data and tries to disseminate that data online so that I include me with everybody out there who watches my videos, so that we can all piece together that story. I kind of look at this as a community of journalists, you guys and me. In other words, we can't trust the media anymore, so we take information and we piece that puzzle together collectively as a unit. I think in general, we are far more trustworthy, I mean you guys and us, at trying to take what facts we can actually come across and piecing that story together without having any input and any bias from the media to tell us how we're supposed to view this story and how we're supposed to think. I think most of us can deduce on our own what is actually taking place here. At a very high level, what it looks like to me is this other gentleman that, Ferris is the guy's name, who owned the business. Carlo went to him to buy whatever he was looking to purchase, and the ATF likely saw this and figured we can swoop in there and get 2 birds with 1 stone. I know there's way more to this story because the store owner Ferris has also reached out to me, provided me documents, and shown me things that make this story even more weird and convoluted. Carlo is giving me additional information whenever I ask for it. And again, he is not trying to be evasive in any kind of way. He's not stonewalled me. If I ask for something, typically he will give that to me. But it does look like he was more than likely on their radar screen because of the higher number of private sales, private purchases that he was making, and then turning around and doing private sales without an FFL. That's likely where they saw him as being a straw purchaser or something like that. I mean, that's more than likely what they're looking at. In my mind, there's no doubt, knowing how the ATF suspects everybody and thinks everybody is wrong, there's no doubt in my mind that Carlo was on their radar screen. I don't think they actually say in their video to him that we don't know who you are. I don't believe that. I believe without a shadow of a doubt that the ATF knew exactly who Carlo Marcello was, and they're lying to him in the video when they tell them they don't know that. Maybe they're doing that so that he will slip up thinking he's not on their radar screen and do something that now really gets him locked up, thrown in jail or whatever. But I don't believe that they don't think he's part of it. More on this as it comes out, guys. I know that I'm not giving you much except for more clarification on some of the details and pieces of the puzzle. You put them together. You tell me what you think in the comment section below. I'm curious what you guys think, because I'm no detective, I'm no investigator, I'm no sleuth, and I'm certainly no journalist. Please don't ever paint me with that broad of a brush, because I never want to be considered part of the scumbags out there who are actually calling themselves journalists, because they don't do journalism anymore.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America. He's so horrible!